We're here at BrickFair New England, and I'm joined by Tim Courtney from the LEGO Group. Thank you so much for joining us, Tim.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, how are you doing?
Good, doing really well.
All right. So, let's kick things off. What is your job title at LEGO?
Yeah, so I'm the community manager for LEGO Ideas, a part of the community engagement and events team.
And what exactly does that mean you do?
That means that I handle sort of the community and the communications around LEGO Ideas, which, as you know, used to be LEGO Cuusoo.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How long have you been playing with LEGO bricks?
Oh my goodness! I think I was probably not even old enough to walk.
So you're a lifer, huh?
I'm a lifer.
Ever go through any dark ages?
Actually, surprisingly, yes, but not in the time you would expect. So I sort of went through the dark ages in my mid-20s.
Yeah, normally it's college age.
Yeah, I went all through my teens and through college, and then that was the more dim age than dark age.
Right. So how did you get your job with LEGO?
Yeah, that's a very interesting.
Especially if you're in your dim age.
I was in my dim age, but I would go to the local conventions to see some old friends. And based upon some of the work that I was doing, totally unrelated to LEGO with web development and digital marketing, as well as community building in my local technology industry, the folks at New Business Group at LEGO invited me to join to work on the LEGO Cuusoo project at the time.
Would you say that your experience with LEGO and the community in the past helped that?
Absolutely. And then just as much, my experience with sort of general industry experience that had nothing to do with LEGO also. It was really the combination of the technical background, the communication background, and the LEGO community knowledge.
Great. So do you have any suggestions for people interested in getting a job in community management? Any tips, any education paths?
Yes, it's really like be very interested in creative people. Be interested in what makes people tick. I'd say that.
Okay. So LEGO Cuusoo recently became LEGO Ideas. How was that name chosen, and what was involved with that transition?
Okay, how was the name chosen? Well, that's. There's just an internal branding process and discussion among different stakeholders, different people who are working on the project. We came together, arrived at that name.
Is there focus testing related to that?
I don't really know.
Okay.
I know because I was part of some discussions, but not all. So maybe they did, but I'm thinking more. It's more the team that came up with the idea.
So what was involved in that transition? So they just want to do the technical or the marketing aspects?
It was a lot of preparation on the part of. So I'm doing the community management, and then I have a counterpart, Pulse, who does the platform management.
So the technical side?
The technical side, and then there's the development team as well. A lot of coordination with the new platform, Cuusoo platform, data exports, translating all that data over from one to another, building a site that could accept the data from Cuusoo to Ideas. It was, I don't have the stats on hand, but it was some 39 gigabytes of images that came over. It was 500,000 accounts. So a substantial amount of data that was moved over in that transition, and that was a huge feat on the part of the technical team.
Right. I think you recently posted a blog entry on the Ideas site with all the stats.
Yeah, it's a LEGO Ideas blog. Yeah, so just to give a little perspective about what does this all involve, and it's been quite some months or longer of planning and coordination.
Yeah, that's not something you can just kind of do with the drop of a hat.
Exactly.
So now that you've moved over and you're no longer working with Cuusoo, has that opened up any new advantages or opportunities now that you're within all contained within LEGO and not with the external partner?
Right. So now it's a new platform upon which we can build. It signals a new commitment to co-creating brand experiences with fans, and so we're looking forward to where we go from here.
Would you say that now that you can use your LEGO ID to make an account?
Absolutely. So it's integrated with the LEGO ecosystem online. You can use your single sign-on for LEGO and to get to LEGO Ideas. And we hope and we believe that over time, with that deeper integration, we're going to start seeing this as a more visible part of the LEGO brand experience online. Yes.
Excellent. So you're planning on kind of pushing it more to other portions of the LEGO site maybe, so it's more prominent? Or?
Not really going to talk about specifics.
Okay,
at this
that's fine.
But this is step one. This is a new platform that's integrated full LEGO brand experience online. So the possibilities that
Right. So one of the things that came with the transition is that now projects only get a year to reach 10,000 votes. Can you talk about that decision and maybe some of the reasoning behind it?
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of the projects that are successful, there's some not, but a lot of them that are successful do pass the LEGO review. That's when LEGO product designers and marketers look at those projects really in detail and decide which ones we're going to make the most sense. A lot of those some take weeks, some take a few have taken days, some take weeks or months versus longer. And really, the demand for a product exists in time, and you need to build that audience. It's going to be a bit focused.
Right.
If it takes 2 or 3 years to get up,
some of those people who supported it like 2 years ago might not be around anymore, or just might not be aware if the product actually comes out to them.
Exactly. Their interest may have, they just might not be interested. So really, because so many come up within the 1 year, it's another way of us raising the bar, but it's also another way of us putting the onus on the product creator.
Right.
You've got to promote, you've got to connect it with an audience that really wants to buy this potential product.
Okay. So one of our members of our site, XCCJ, had a question, and he said, I'm curious as to what kinds of restrictions are on ideas when pursuing licensing agreements, and how much freedom do they have to go after new ones?
That's a really interesting question.
Because a lot of the projects we see are based on licensed properties.
Exactly. So, as far as I understand, in the licensing world, you might come up with an agreement that's exclusive, and that would mean that a competing company may not be able to pursue the license.
Right.
If it's open or if it's available, we could certainly pursue it. For example, we did that with Back to the Future. We did that with Ghostbusters.
Right.
So those are new licenses that were required. Now, granted, there's groups of companies. There's companies that own groups of licenses, right? But anyway, that's a new license for us. So we have the freedom to do that. If there is a conflict in where another company has the exclusive rights, maybe it's for whatever period of time, then we wouldn't be able to pursue that, and so that may be a potential reason for turning it.
Right, and so that might be something like the Doctor Who situation, where recently you announced that projects would be accepted. I'm assuming because I know there were building products based on Doctor Who previously, so I'd assume something happened with their licensing agreement. And
we were informed that that became available, and it was no longer a conflict. So we decided to communicate that openly and see what would happen.
Right. And there's already 2 projects in the review stage, so we'll see how that goes. All right. What other groups within LEGO do you interact with on a regular basis as part of your work with ideas?
That's a really good question, too, and really a lot of different groups. For me personally, I work with our PR, our brand relations, with our social media team. Obviously, according to the rest of CEE, to sort of get the pulse on the community. Exactly. But also it ranges to customer service. Give a direct line to them, to the shop, to get the products. So really, we work across.
Right, kind of like a complete manufacturing and the creation thing. So you guys go from the ideas all the way to the production and the shelf. So you have to kind of be in tune with each step of the way.
Exactly, and it's kind of like a closed loop, right? So you submit an idea to LEGO Ideas, and that gets the votes, and that's sort of your role. We take it, we review it, and if we take the product forward, we put it through our process.
Right.
And then my role then is to bring it back to the fan. We submitted it, bring it back to the fan.
Yeah, and I think it's a great thing that you guys are doing with that. I look forward to see how it grows. So what are some of the challenges you face with moderating the large ideas community?
That is a really interesting question, too. People are incredibly passionate, and they're all sort of reaching for that same goal.
Right, everyone wants to have their set made.
Exactly. So, really overall, like, from a project perspective, a lot of times it's quality. We want to find ways to encourage people to put up a bit more time and a bit more effort in taking a little bit better photos. Take your time in writing a really good description that's even some of the basic things for spelling and grammar.
Right.
You'd be surprised
No, I wouldn't.
Actually, you wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
So those are the sorts of things that you actually have to have sort of a minimum quality bar to even get posted on the site. And that takes quite a bit of time to weed through and send the mails back to people who don't quite make the bar. On the community side of things, on the member side of things, it's I know we're all going for the same thing, but be kind and be civil to each other, be helpful, and use good sportsmanship.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a good way of doing this. It's one of the things we like to promote in BZPower. One of our main rules is respect each other, right?
Exactly. Right. I think that's one of our number one rules. It's be constructive, respectful, or something like that. Yeah.
So, are there any features that you would like to see added to ideas? And is there anything coming out that you can talk about?
Yeah, I can't quite talk about it because it's coming out. We are improving the site based on the feedback that we receive. We're also improving it based on our own roadmap.
Right.
So when you launch something on the internet, as you know, it's not a finished product. It's not set in stone.
Everything, yeah, there's always evolving.
Yeah. So when we look at something like that, it's better to launch and maybe not be 100% complete to where we want to be. And then we can add, we can add and we can refine and we can later. Just like you can post a project and then you can post updates to it and refine that later.
So it's the LEGO Ideas idea project.
The LEGO Ideas idea, yes. We're, again, this is step one. This is a new start for us.
Right, now you're out of beta.
Now we're out of beta. Now it's a full LEGO experience. And that's really, I think that's pretty amazing commitment. You can imagine the effort and the time and all the other implications of that went into just rebooting this, and just launching LEGO Ideas. That has to be a starting point. And it is.
Yeah, LEGO is such a huge company, and some people who might be familiar with their history know that they've branched out in a lot of different areas in the past, and maybe not always have a very great path forward on that. So I'm sure they're a little more conservative with that and want to make sure that they're doing the right thing. And totally, after the beta, they're committed to it now. So
yeah, exactly. And everything we do as a company, especially we learn as we go, this is more of the beta mindset that we took with LEGO Cuusoo. This is the first time that this has been done. There's no textbook for how to run a co-creation crowdsourcing community around a consumer brand like this. So that's why the guidelines were very open and very broad at the beginning, and then we started to narrow. Because as we review products, we learn what's practical and what's not practical.
Right. As you see what the people submit and what people are voting for. And stuff.
Yeah, but also in the sense of
what can the company do?
What has gone through the review process and what have those discussions been around things that we will or not make and why? And then can we start to frame out, can we start to narrow down what we accept? Because for me, I want to allow people to get their projects to 10,000. I want that to have a reasonable chance of passing. Now, there are many factors, and there's a lot of factors that we just can't talk about.
Right.
But I want to give it a fighting chance. And by saying you can't put this or that in your project,
it's not because you want to limit people, but you want to help them.
We're setting up for success, and we're trying to eliminate inevitable disappointment. If we know it's going to fail, then but it's not failing because of that particular project and what it is. It's failing maybe because of some bigger characteristics. So we want to have the guidelines. Guidelines are actually there to help members make something that, it sets them up for success later on. Of course, there's no guarantees.
Yeah.
Right? Of course, the review board takes a look at that, and based upon a business case, if there's a market for it, based upon our own strategy internally, something may or may not.
Yeah, it's a really complex thing for a supply chain and manufacturing as well. What elements are available.
If you haven't had the experience developing and marketing a consumer product, those are things that I wouldn't have thought of until I went through the process myself.
Yeah, it's one thing to build the set when you can go on BrickLink or and get whatever parts you need. It's another one that you have to produce it at scale. Right?
Yeah. It's another thing to build a lock for yourself, build it for you and your friends, your advanced builder friends who might be able to recreate it. It's another thing to design something that that building process can be easily repeated tens, hundreds of thousands of times in houses all around the world with fans, right? And there are different skill levels. You have to take that into account. And so that's why building something that's has a consistent building experience, a consistent brand experience for everyone who's going to buy that set. That's a bit different than creating a block for display.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Two different things. So if you could submit a project to LEGO Ideas, what would it be?
Oh my gosh. Wow. Is that a loaded question?
Yeah, take notes, people, because you can make something and then you'd be on Tim's good side right off the bat.
I am a classic space and like Entron, Futron, Ice Planet fan and art, Blacktron.
Mm-hmm.
So anything that sort of remixed that's where I.
Yeah. Great late 80s, early 90s space themes.
My desk at work has the multi-core magnetizer on it. So I would do something that was very. Of course, you can't submit to bring something back.
Right.
But you
as we all know from Bionicle and BZPower.
So yeah.
Right. I mean, there's always room for new ideas and new takes on
new creative, original ideas. Yeah. But something that had that classic space feel. That's where my heart is.
So what do you love about the LEGO Ideas community and the fan community at large?
Wow. Everyone, we're here at BrickFair, and everyone here is just very, very passionate and very creative, and in all different directions. LEGO fans are so different even from each other in their interests, but they all come together over a common medium.
Right.
The other thing that I really like, especially about the LEGO Ideas community, is that for everyone, it sort of takes them out of their comfort zones. People are comfortable building an elaborate mock,
right.
But maybe they have to learn a bit to promote their project and get comfortable with connecting with an audience that would actually take it to a commercial level. Maybe they're going to get better at rendering images or taking better photographs so that they can convince you with that first impression that I've got to vote for this. But maybe they don't quite have the skills. And I've seen people now that we've been running this community for 2.5 years on the global level, the open beta globally, and now to LEGO Ideas. I've actually gotten to track the progress of some community members and see how they grow, especially the defaults. Some of them, they've really developed their skills. So I love that about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing, like you said, to build a great mock, but it's another to kind of have the complete package to sell it to someone.
Yes, and watching that growth and that evolution over time. And when I think about it, it's multiplied across all of our members. That's a personal growth journey for those individual people, and it's different for each one.
Right.
And so that's really good.
Okay. Well, that's all I had. Is there anything else you'd like to comment on ideas and the future of it that you'd like to share with the BZPower?
Well, not in specific terms, but I'm just really glad, on behalf of the entire CEE team, on behalf of LEGO Ideas team, to bring you this new experience. We learned a lot from LEGO Cuusoo. It was a great program for the time that it ran, and now it's time to go forward with LEGO Ideas. So thank you for your interest. Thank you for your projects, for your votes. Looking forward to seeing you on the site.
Well, thanks so much, Tim.
Yep. Thanks,
it's been
Andrew.
a pleasure.
Yeah. Take care.
All right.